Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving straight into a chilling, true crime-style breakdown of what is, without a doubt, one of the most deceptive and ruthless antagonists in gaming history. We're looking at Minecraft's story mode's notorious villain from the A Portal to Mystery chapter. By completely throwing out that typical, simplistic, blocky villain trope we're all used to, she absolutely elevates the story into a genuine thriller. So, how exactly did a character manage to hide in plain sight, pulling all the strings and orchestrating this massive reign of terror? Well, let's unmask her. Right out of the gate, we're plunged into the terror of the mansion. Picture this for a second. You're trapped in a spooky, isolated mansion, and suddenly, a note block just casually delivers this incredibly chilling threat. It's brilliant, really, because it instantly establishes the ridiculously high stakes of this whodunit. The host of this mansion isn't just messing around playing games. They are dead serious, and they've got an enchanted diamond axe to prove it. It sets the stage perfectly for a really desperate fight for survival. All right, Section 1, The White Pumpkin Mystery. A ruthless killer on the loose. The actual, tangible threat level of this antagonist is just staggering. The White Pumpkin isn't just making empty threats here. Look at this list of known victims. We've got Torque Dog, Captain Sparklies who perishes indirectly from a trap, and then, depending entirely on how the events unfold for you, either LD Shadow Lady or Dan TDM. In fact, if we exclude hostile mobs and characters who just respawn, the White Pumpkin actually holds the second highest kill count in the entire game. Only Romeo beats her. So yeah, this is a highly effective, deeply dangerous serial killer we're dealing with. And they aren't just efficient, they are incredibly cruel. This mocking line, "enjoying the party, ha ha ha," is delivered right after a prominent victim meets their demise. I mean, talk about cold. It perfectly highlights the killer's absolute lack of empathy and deeply sadistic nature. The White Pumpkin actively revels in the fear and the chaos they're causing. Moving on to Section 2, Unmasking Cassie Rose, the scared, cat-loving survivor. The contrast we're looking at here is absolutely wild. On one side, you have the White Pumpkin, this masked terror in a black suit with brown gloves swinging around an enchanted diamond axe, mocking victims without a single shred of remorse. But then, on the other side, we have Cassie Rose. She wears a blue cap, black glasses, a simple black shirt, and blue shorts. She seems grumpy, maybe a little suspicious, but mostly, she's just deeply fearful. She acts super friendly with the trapped YouTubers like Stacy Plays and Stampy Cat, and she openly, obsessively dotes on her pet calico cat. It's a brilliant deception. It shows exactly how she managed to completely pull the wool over Jesse's entire gang. Cassie's deception was literally a masterclass in manipulation. Step 1, she acted incredibly nervous and reserved, which completely deflected any suspicion away from herself. Then, as the group got more and more paranoid, she actively supported the YouTuber's plan to lock the suspects in the library. She even volunteered to help take them there. It made her look like the ultimate team player. But her most devious move? Planting evidence. She left a decoy mask with a cut on it, specifically to frame Lucas as the prime suspect, keeping the heat entirely off her own back. Just genius-level manipulation. Okay, Section 3, a desperate, deadly motive, trapped in a world of two moons. So, you've got to ask yourself, what could possibly push a seemingly normal, cat-loving person to such incredibly violent extremes? I mean, to orchestrate all these complex traps and put on a terrifying mask just to eliminate people one by one? Well, the answer hits you like a ton of bricks with this explosive confession. When she's finally exposed, Cassie completely breaks down and screams, "I've been stuck in this stupid world with its stupid two moons for years, trapped." This wasn't just some random killing spree. Cassie Rose, who the game strongly implies to be a former member of the Old Builders, was either banished or accidentally trapped in this bizarre alternate dimension. The crushing, multi-year isolation just bred this unbearable, murderous desperation to get out. And this whole shebang revolved around one single thing: the ultimate prize, an enchanted flint and steel. Cassie literally had a portal network right under her nose inside the mansion, but she absolutely needed this specific key to open it and finally go home. Her intense paranoia, her total conviction that anyone who got the flint and steel would just betray her and leave her stranded, drove her to kill anyone who possessed it, or frankly, anyone who even stood in her way. Which brings us to Section 4, Sociopath or Psychopath, the psychology of a killer.
Now, we need to make a really clear distinction here because people get this mixed up all the time. Cassie is often called a psychopath, but she's actually a sociopath. See, a sociopath's extreme behaviors are derived from environmental factors and trauma, not just biology. Her trauma of being completely isolated and trapped in a foreign world for years, that's what broke her. It perfectly explains why characters like Petra and Lucas are so accurate when they dub her the sociopumpkin. Her environment is what turned her into a monster. But here's the crazy part. Despite being the social pumpkin, she isn't entirely devoid of feeling. Listen to this incredibly desperate plea for her pet calico cat. "Winslow, where are you, my darling? Come to master, please." While she shows zero empathy for the actual human being she slaughters, her agonizing love for Winslow reveals this deeply fractured but very genuine emotional anchor. Winslow is literally her best and only friend, a tiny tether to whatever shred of humanity she has left.
Finally, let's look at Section 5, the final escape, behind the scenes and beyond the trap. Real quick, the developers clearly poured an incredible amount of care into creating her. Just look at this trivia. The character actually utilizes two highly distinct voice actors. Ashley Birch brings that perfect nervous energy to Cassie Rose, while Roger L. Jackson provides the utterly terrifying, disguised voice of the White Pumpkin. She was actually named after the sister of a Telltale Games staff member. And get this, the sister's real-life pet dog is also named Winslow. Plus, she holds the dark honor of being the franchise's very first female main antagonist and known serial killer. Now, her downfall is just pure dramatic irony. It is entirely of her own making. First, Jessie finally outsmarts her and exposes her as the murderer. Then, during their confrontation, she literally falls into her own deadly trap, a massive pit completely swarming with silverfish and endermites. In a poetic twist of fate, she's left trapped in the dark, entirely out of ender pearls, with no apparent access to food. She is, for all intents and purposes, completely buried alive in her own prison. But is that really the end? Fast forward to the end of the series in Beacon Town. If Jessie chooses to stay, they eventually receive this chilling anonymous letter containing just 3 little words, WP, look out. The initials obviously stand for White Pumpkin. This essentially proves that despite being seemingly buried alive, Cassie Rose likely found a way to survive her subterranean prison and escape. Which leaves us with one final, very unsettling question. If Cassie Rose, a proven master of deception and an absolutely ruthless survivor, truly escaped that impossible trap, where is the White Pumpkin hiding right now? And more importantly, who is going to be her next target? The deadliest assassin in the Minecraft Story Mode universe is still out there. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep your eyes open and watch out for pumpkins.